Now, for our scales, we're going to do the scale that's required for the audition. D major is rather tricky for the bass. In fact, we wrote it so we skip down instead of going up 2 octaves, which will land you in the stratosphere on the bass. We're going to do something that's a little bit easier. You're going to start with open D, then you're going to jump down to open E and work your way up the scale. So for D major, first you have to identify where the sharps are. So there are 2 sharps in D major. We have F sharp and we have C sharp. So if we're going to play D major, we're going to start with open D, go down to open E, and then for F sharp, that's your first finger in first position. So we don't have to do anything to get that F sharp, it is just your first finger. Then your second finger is going to be for G natural. We're not going to play our 4th finger because that would be G sharp. Then we go to open A, B is our first finger, and then we need a C sharp, so we are going to use our 4th finger. And then D, E, F sharp, 4th finger on the D string, and then open G, A, B is your 4th finger again, and then shift to C sharp, which is your 2nd finger. So that's like the augmented finger pattern that we learned with our finger families. And then we're going to go to our 4th finger, which is D. And then we come back down, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, B, A, and then G natural, so you use your 2nd finger. So 2nd finger is only going to be for the E string. F sharp is your 1st finger, open E, and then finish with open D. Okay? So I'll demonstrate it. Make sure you take the time to think about it. Watch your music. I did write in the shifts. If you see a Roman numeral 3, that means you need to shift. If you see a Roman numeral 1, that means you need to shift back to first position. So this is how it goes. So it's not too difficult. It's only 1 major shift, and then you have to remember which fingers you should use on what strings. So either your 2nd finger or your 4th finger. With this scale and all your scales, you need to practice for proficiency, and then you also need to practice for fluency and speed. In order to speed it up, I would recommend doing your half notes first, getting the idea of the scale, listening to it, and then speed it up by doing successive 8th notes. So you can repeat these 8th notes. I usually go from 4 8th notes to 2 8th notes to 1 8th note. And then after you get those 8th notes, it'll be a bit of a struggle to get it all the way down to 1 8th note without slowing down. But if you keep practicing these daily, you'll notice that it gets much easier, and then you'll be able to get around your instrument much faster. So I'll show you my routine that I normally do, and I have my kids study. So it's going to be a challenge to get all those single eighth notes. For the time being, I would just practice and keep getting better and better, and you'll find eventually it's going to come through for you. I still have 2 more scales I want to do. Those 2 are of the other pieces that you're going to be playing in honor orchestra, but I'm going to include those on separate videos.